In 2018, deep within the densely populated network of the Nile Delta in Qalyubia, Egypt, local police walked into a puzzle that defied basic logic. On the cold tile floor of a village kitchen lay a 78-year-old widow. Beside her was a heavy iron pipe covered in blood, but the surrounding environment made no sense. The gas on the stove had been deliberately turned off. Resting neatly on a tray nearby were 2 prepared teacups. Beside the bodies sat 3 sealed envelopes. When investigators tore them open, they found nothing inside but blank white paper. The kitchen wasn't a site of struggle, but of strange order. The prepared tea and the shut-off stove indicated that the victim likely spent her final moments entertaining a guest rather than fighting an intruder. The victim, Hajja Ferial, lived in a tight-knit village where unfamiliar faces were immediately noticed. She was a deeply cautious widow whose morning routine involved sitting strictly outside her front door. She simply never allowed strangers past her threshold. Her home consisted of 2 main levels. She occupied the ground floor, while the upstairs apartment belonged to her son, Nasser. That second floor was locked tight and had sat largely unoccupied for years while he worked abroad. Yet after the attack in the kitchen, the intruder walked straight up the stairs and into Nasser's apartment. There were no signs of forced entry on the exterior door, no broken locks upstairs, and not a single stray fingerprint left behind. Physical locks are useless against an intruder who knows exactly how to manipulate the occupant. The person who walked through that door bypassed the deadbolts using intimate knowledge of Hajja Ferial's daily habits and her son's distant life. For 3 solid months, the case sat frozen. Police combed the village, but found 0 DNA, 0 witnesses, and absolutely no viable suspects among the locals. The only trace was caught on a distant village security camera. It showed a faceless man walking toward the local transport station, carrying a bag stolen directly from the upstairs apartment. Investigators noted that while tearing through Nasser's closets, the thief ignored several valuables and instead grabbed an ordinary digital photography camera. Fortunately, Nasser still had the original purchase receipt. Printed right there at the bottom was a unique sequence of letters and numbers, the camera's serial number. Police broadcasted this specific code to specialized electronics markets across the wider region, ordering merchants to flag the item the moment someone tried to sell it. By distributing the serial number, investigators effectively turned every electronics shop in the region into a potential witness. The search was now fixed on the physical movement of the stolen camera itself. That trail eventually pinged in a pawn shop miles away. The man trying to sell the camera was a known criminal named Abdullah, and police moved in immediately. Abdullah's physical build perfectly matched the silhouette caught on the village transport cameras, but during interrogation, he swore he had never met Hajja Ferial or her son in his life. Yet he knew entirely too much. He could describe the exact interior layout of the house and knew that Nasser kept foreign cash locked away in the upstairs wardrobe. He also knew that Nasser had spent over 2 decades working a lucrative accounting job in Saudi Arabia, a specific detail used to coast Hajja Ferial into opening her door. Abdullah was acting on information provided by a third party. The specific details he possessed, the layout of the home and the family's financial secrets, suggested he was following a set of instructions from someone who had studied the target. That third party was a man named Saeed. He lived miles away from the village, yet he possessed a perfect mental blueprint of the victim's home. To see how he got it, we have to rewind 8 months before the murder. Nasser was selling a car and ran into a bureaucratic snag. Saeed, a local conman, overheard the problem and offered to fix the paperwork for a fee. To pay for this service, Nasser invited Saeed over to the family home. Saeed sat quietly in the living room for about 30 minutes, playing the role of a respectful, helpful guest. This diagram shows the house's internal layout. While sitting in that room, Saeed's eyes were tracking everything. He noted the presence of Nasser's vulnerable mother. He watched Nasser walk up to the second floor and realized the key to the upstairs door was simply left in the lock. He cataloged these details and filed them away. 8 months later, he handed that spatial intelligence to Abdullah to coordinate the robbery. The security of the house was compromised 8 months before the murder took place. That single, polite visit functioned as a reconnaissance mission for a crime that would not be executed until much later. Knowing that she never let strangers inside, Saeed gave Abdullah the ultimate prop, those 3 blank envelopes. He instructed Abdullah to present them as urgent corporate documents sent directly by Nasser's company in Saudi Arabia. It was a psychological trap designed to exploit a mother's deep love for her son. Believing this man was a trusted colleague from her son's faraway life, her defenses evaporated. She smiled, took the letters, and invited him back into the kitchen to prepare the 2 cups of tea. Criminals don't always pick locks or break glass to cross your threshold. Often, they just need to learn enough about your life to make you open the door yourself.